Hi, my name is Rosanna. I'm a project manager, content creator, and healthy productivity fanatic. And in today's video, we are gonna start a month-long journey to cut my screen time from more than 3 hours to under 1 hour. If you are anything like me, you probably spend way too much time on your phone and you're usually not happier for it. In this day and age, everyone is on their phone all the time and it's just, it sucks the life out of us. Let's be real, none of us are happy with the amount of time that we're spending on social media. I looked at my screen time prior to recording this video and I would like to say that I'm actually embarrassed with how much time I spend on my phone, wasting my life away. I quite literally spend about 2 hours, like 2.5 hours to almost 4 hours every week on my phone, and a lot of that time is spent on Instagram and Twitter. Those places don't even make me happy if I spend a lot of time on there, so I think it is time to change some habits. And for the entire month, I'll be making like mini vlogs of my progress, what I'd like to adjust, how things are going, my lessons learned, all of my insights basically. And for the entire month, we will be using an app called Willstone. Willstone is also very kindly sponsoring today's video, so I'll make sure to link all of their information in the description box down below and show you plenty of little steps that we are taking with this app to finally fix this problem and cut our screen time from plus 3 hours to less than 1 hour a day. So let me tell you a little bit about Willstone before we actually dive into the nitty-gritty of how we'll be using this app for a month. So Willstone is a really cool app that doesn't only incentivize you to cut your screen time, but kind of does that by allowing you to build healthy habits to gamify your screen time. This is something that for my ADHD brain works fantastic because it means that I get instant rewards for good habits. It doesn't feel like I'm losing something because I'm not allowed to use my phone, but then also having the opportunity to actually do something positive, get in some focus time, do some reading, work a little bit with my Duolingo. I don't know, use apps on my phone that I've actually set up to be positive, allows me to buy screen time later. So later in the evening, if I like want to scroll a bit before I go to bed, I can, but only for as much as I did positive things in the day. So what we're gonna do today is I am actually on day 0 or day 1, I guess, of the challenge, where I haven't actually done anything yet. I've only installed the app to make sure that it works. I've taken a brief look at it to make sure that I understand how to explain it to you guys, but I haven't set it up. I haven't done anything to this app for myself. I'm super stoked to take all of you with me for an entire month. And yeah, let's actually get started with setting up the app. I quickly moved to my sofa so we can get extra comfortable while setting up this app because I think I'm gonna need some good brain power to do this. So I need to make sure that I'm comfortable, okay? So we're gonna start with opening the app called Willstone. And like you can see, there's already something set up on my dashboard simply because I tested out the app and I installed it and stuff, but we're basically just gonna start from scratch. Let's go to add and edit redeem items because I think that is gonna make the most sense. There's a bunch of things that we can do for redeemable activities. An offline timer, which is kind of nice because that means that if we're gonna focus, we can put like a little timer on the screen, kind of like Forest. For anyone, if you've ever used Forest, it's basically an app that allows you to put like a timer on your phone. And then as soon as you try to use any apps on your phone, the timer will be like, are you sure you want to do this? Your tree is gonna die. But basically that, but then with this app, so it will actually put a timer on your screen. And as soon as you exit out of the app, it will basically tell you like, hey, just letting you know, you are actually gonna lose your additional screen time or like your rewards if you use your phone right now. So I like the offline timer a lot. Steps is nice because I'd love to start walking more. My current daily step goal is kind of low and I almost never reach it because I have such a sitting job. Like most of my work is in my office, and with my current like chronic illness and not going to an office outside of my home office, I also kind of take very, very little steps in a day. I like the idea of exercise time because I now need to exercise multiple days a week for my chronic illness. So let's actually do that one. And then I'm not going to put meditate for the simple reason that I never meditate. It's not something that works for me and my ADHD brain. Okay, so if you click on the little context menu next to apps, you can actually change which apps on your phone are positive apps. As soon as you use it, basically it will be counting towards your screen time. But let's actually see that later. Also, it says easy. So you can like set up settings. We have easy, normal, and hard. When we go to the normal mode, I guess that like gives us less screen time. 200 steps can redeem 1 minute of screen time. 2 minutes of positive app, offline time, meditate time, etc. Okay. Oh, okay. So the modes actually tell us how much we need to do to earn minutes of screen time. I think what I'm gonna do in this first week of the challenge, I'm gonna go for easy because you shouldn't quit cold turkey. You shouldn't go too fast because that's gonna create a downfall later. So let's go for easy and let's go for 10 minutes. And then throughout the challenge, I'm gonna see if I can adjust the difficulty level and like maybe go to normal. It'd be really cool if we can end the week or like the month, sorry, on hard mode with only 5 minutes per app. That'd be super cool. But let's start with easy and 10 minutes. I don't want to put it to all because I think then there's like no going back. I like the idea of limiting myself in time a bit. So let's go to easy in 10 minutes. Then for the steps, I already gave it permission to actually use my Apple Health for this. Then we have a bunch of apps. So let's actually set up some positive or negative apps. We actually have Notion Calendar, which I think I only use that on my phone to check things. So that's fine. Notion on my phone, I definitely want to have that as a positive app because when I'm working in my Notion, that either means that I'm journaling, that means that I am working on things, which are all things that are not like negatively contributing to my screen time. I rarely get lost in doom scrolling in Notion, let's say. If we're actually using this specific app, it will also contribute positively, which is nice, but I don't think we'll use it that much. OtterLife is actually an app that I'll be using for another video. So keep an eye out if you're interested what OtterLife is. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel and keep an eye out for that video. It will probably come out somewhere in the coming months, but I'm not gonna tell you too much about OtterLife yet, but it's a very exciting one, so you don't wanna miss it. I think this is honestly pretty good. So let's save it. That means that only those apps on my phone will give me screen time minutes. That's not a lot of apps. So I don't think we're gonna probably get a lot of screen time minutes from our apps on the phone. Let's see, also exercise time is very nice. Definitely gonna keep that on there. And then let's actually see which apps it will block because I think this is gonna be a big one because there's a lot of apps that I should not be using as much. Snapchat is a very solid one because I can spend hours on Snapchat just chatting with people or like using dumb filters that I don't need. So I think limiting that one would be smart. Twitter or X, 100% should be limited. Threads is a good one, Instagram is a good one, TikTok is a good one, Messenger is also a good one, I guess. And this is our final list of apps that will be under the screen time limit. I think that covers the app setup. So now all that is left for me is actually start using it, see how much I can get done with all of the steps and stuff. And I think something that I also really like about this is the intentionality of having to redeem your minutes. So instead of opening Instagram and being able to click 15 more minutes, the app will tell you you don't have credits anymore. You ran out of credits. You have to go to the Willstone app to then select which credits you would like to redeem to then have more screen time, which already takes you out of the loop of clicking 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. So I am super excited to see how this is gonna go. I'm gonna do a check-in probably in like a couple of days. I think as soon as I start to notice a big change or I start to notice some things that I wanna adjust, I'm just gonna record a check-in and we're just gonna go kind of like throughout the month and I'll keep you posted. So let's go on this journey together. So it's been 1.5 weeks since I started using Willstone and I have some updates because this app has actually been making a huge difference in my life, way bigger than I ever anticipated. And I have some good lessons learned, some interesting insights that I would absolutely love to share with you today. So actually let's start with probably the most important question. I've been using Willstone for 1.5 weeks. How is my screen time doing? And funnily enough, my screen time didn't change that much. I'm still spending about 3.5 hours a day on my phone, which I'm still definitely committed to getting down to under 1 hour. However, I do think I've made some significant improvements into my life in the past few days, and I would love to kind of like walk you through my thought process and what I've learned so far, because there were actually a couple of unexpected lessons that I didn't realize would add this much value to me using this app. A little bit of context to the 3.5 hours from last week or the week before were actually that one, I was home alone for most of it, which meant that I was doing a lot of video calling with my partner. That actually caused my screen time to go up quite a lot, but it also meant that I was using apps like WhatsApp instead of Instagram and Twitter. So like the apps that were kind of the culprit of my high screen time before have actually decreased in how much I've used them. So that's like a really big win after just 1.5 weeks. So I think it is actually far more useful to take a look at the statistics from the Willstone app itself, which I'll make sure to end this little segment with, but first I would like to share some of my lessons learned. My first and most important lesson learned is that I also need to block YouTube on my phone. And I think I can unblock it if there's ever like a situation where I really genuinely need to watch a tutorial or anything, but I noticed myself just simply replacing Instagram with YouTube. Instead of scrolling Instagram Reels, I was now scrolling in YouTube Shorts. But I think it is gonna help a lot if I just start blocking YouTube as well. I think that's the first big change I'm gonna implement after this first 1.5 week is YouTube is now also blocked. The second thing is actually I really enjoyed the screens. Every single time, I'll put like a couple of examples on the screen here, but every single time my screen time ran out and the app was like telling me that I should put my phone away, I thought it was so funny, like because every single time you see a slightly different one and they have like a bunch of variants of it, and it really kept me on my toes. Instead of being able to like 5 more minutes, let's just like, you know, I'll put my phone away in a little bit. I promise. This was like fully blocking you out. And also when it was taking you out and you wanted to continue scrolling, you actually have to navigate all the way to the Willstone app to then like redeem your minutes. This fully took me out of the doom scrolling cycle. This was so immensely helpful compared to the default app on iPhone, and I'm really glad this is a feature in Willstone. Another extremely surprising habit that it helped me to break already is doom scrolling in the morning, because you start the day with 10 minutes of screen time. So I can still wake up and like check my most important messages on Discord, or like maybe see if I have any emails, but it prevents me from opening Twitter and just scrolling for an hour. And this has been a habit that I've been trying to break for forever, because I thought that I loved waking up just watching videos on Instagram, and I'm now realizing that that was just like me getting lost on socials. Like as early as freaking 8 in the morning, I would pick up my phone and I would just immediately start scrolling without any purpose of the day, and then I'd be frustrated that I was awake so late. For the past 1.5 weeks, I've been consistently getting out of bed about 30 minutes earlier than regularly, simply because I'm not doom scrolling on my phone, because I don't have more than 10 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, I'm in bed, I might as well just wake up. I don't have anything else to do. And this is a habit that I never thought I would break, because I genuinely didn't realize that limiting my screen time in the morning would be beneficial for this. In my brain, screen time was always like you would limit yourself for the entire day, but with this one, you can kind of like limit yourself in segments, if that makes any sense. So I get 10 minutes in the morning, and then if I get up and walk and like do beneficial things for my health, I get more minutes for later down the line during the day. So I'm also able to space out my screen time a lot more, which I genuinely think is a really big win. So then I'd actually like to take a really quick look at my stats in the app. So let's go ahead and open Willstone. And something that I think is super interesting is that specifically on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I had so many minutes left that I didn't use. I had like for 2 days more than 2 hours of screen time left that I didn't redeem, simply by like being out and about, working out, walking a lot, doing focus time. So basically I did a lot of good things on that day, and I didn't even redeem screen time for it, which I think means one thing. It means we can switch to hard mode. We are gonna go full in. We're gonna go switch to hard mode now that YouTube is also blocked and my boyfriend's back home and I don't expect to do any video calls. Let's just switch it up and see if we can make it even more difficult for ourselves to start scrolling on socials when we don't want to. I'll give you an update in another 1.5 to 2 weeks with how things are going and what my final findings were for this week, and let's see if I can actually complete that challenge of getting under 1 hour of screen time a day. It has been about a month and it is time to finally check how I've done with my screen time. I don't think I actually got under an hour, because I've actually have a lot of lessons learned about this and like why I think I didn't get under an hour, but I haven't checked. I haven't seen it. I've just checked like in the app itself, and I'm really curious to check on like my general screen time app on iPhone. I feel like the past week, or like the last week of this challenge for myself has been going so much better, and I'm super excited. So shall we check together? Okay, I know it still says 2 hours. I know that sounds like a lot, but look at the past few days. And I feel like Monday's been really long. Like that's been a lot. Okay, let's actually get a little bit more insight into this. From like before, I feel like Discord has gone up a lot, and I can actually explain this. The main reason for this is that I've actually had a bunch of contact moving to my Discord. So I've been like in touch with my management agency through Discord. I recently joined a new Twitch guild, so I've been on Discord for that a lot. So I almost feel like I've been using my phone a lot more for like actual business things and work things rather than doom scrolling. I can see that X is still on an hour a day, which is definitely something that I want to work towards. But at the same time, I do know that the only reason this is on an hour a day is because I've also been walking and working out and like doing a lot of other things, because Willstone only allowed me to use X or Twitter when I had done other things. So I genuinely think that this app has been super useful so far. Then I also see Instagram is still quite high. I still have a lot of work to do. This is definitely not the end of it. I will be continuing this challenge for myself. I will 100% keep Willstone installed on my phone and like use it more to make sure that I can reduce my screen time, because at this point I'm like in a flow of reducing it steadily every single week. I think YouTube is still quite high. I did limit YouTube, which was I think a really good decision. So I'm gonna still have to figure out a way on how to reduce that. But all the other things, I'm honestly really not mad about this. TikTok, just 16 minutes in a whole week. That is wild. Also, hold on. Are you telling me that I've only spent 1 hour on Twitter in the entire week? No, that can't be, right? No. That's the daily thing. So today I've spent 8 minutes on Twitter and 8 minutes on YouTube. It is currently 10 in the morning. So that's not really fair. Let's actually check back on other days. So I've spent 15 minutes on Twitter, only 11 minutes on Instagram. I think this is really because Willstone is limiting them. If I had not had these limits on with Willstone, I would have spent at least double the amount. I think the best habit that I managed to break in the past month is me scrolling in the morning, because I get 10 minutes and then my phone is like, your time's up, you have to get out of bed. And that's genuinely the best win of this month. I never thought that I would break that habit. I said it in the previous recording, like about a week or 1.5 ago, where I didn't expect to break that. It's fully broken. I am up and ready to start my day every single day at like 7:30. This is not, I've never had that before in my life. I'm like so mind blown by this change, and it's had such a positive effect on my productivity, on my mental health, on my overall energy. So even though I didn't get to like below 1 hour, I think I still cut out all the screen time that was negatively affecting me, and I kept the screen time that is like positively affecting me because it's part of my work as being a person in content creation and social media. So I think this is my main lesson learned from this whole month-long challenge, is actually using the screen time app on iPhone. By limiting yourself and like locking yourself out of your phone isn't necessarily the best way, specifically if you use your phone for work a lot. But if you're in a position to lock out certain apps or like limit the usage of certain apps, that's gonna be a huge win, especially because it really emphasizes on building good habits to kind of like help you on buying or unlocking your screen time. Let's actually take a quick look in the Willstone app itself. As you can see, I've used all my time for today. I did scroll for 10 minutes this morning, but I've been on hard mode for the past like 1.5 weeks. So I get to redeem 10 minutes at a time, and I have been needing to do 400 steps for 1 minute of screen time and 4 minutes of positive app offline time, etc. for 1 minute of screen time. I have to say, when I put it on the easy mode at the beginning of the month, I still used my phone quite a lot, and it was really easy because even just not taking that many steps or doing one single workout would unlock a ridiculous amount of screen time. So if you're gonna download this app, I highly recommend just going for hard mode. It does make it hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a challenge, but I can highly recommend it because it's been super useful. Let's actually do a little performance strategy. So as you can see, I've had quite some really good days in the past few days. So like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and today so far, I've only used limited apps for like very little time. I've used them under 30 minutes a day, which for me is fine. If I spend 30 minutes a day on Instagram and TikTok and on Twitter, I'm all good. Also, positive usage hasn't been the best. The main reason for this is I keep forgetting to turn on my positive app thing. So like I keep forgetting to put on my focus time when I actually start to work. So most of my screen time I've been unlocking with just steps and workouts, which to be fair is also the best for me because that's the thing I've been struggling with. I don't struggle with productive time. I struggle with working out and moving around. So that's been really good. So all in all, I absolutely love this app. I think Willstone is great. If you want to download it, please make sure to check out the link in my description box and in the pinned comment. And of course, tell me in the comments down below if you struggle with screen time, if you plan on using Willstone to reduce it. I think this app really makes a big difference compared to any other app that is limiting your screen time because it helps you build positive habits, and it also helps you kind of like not necessarily limit your phone use altogether, but it really gives you insight on the bad apps and the good apps on your phone, which I think is a really great distinction because in the end, a smartphone is actually a device that can help you massively in the quality of life as well. And just kind of taking it out of your life because you don't want to use it because of social media isn't really going to leverage all the good effects that a phone can have on your life. Whereas I think with Willstone, you can leverage those positive effects, but you can kind of cut out the negatives. If you enjoyed this video and this month-long challenge, it did take me a long time to make, so please feel free to toss the video a cheeky like, leave a comment about your favorite part and whether you'll be doing a similar challenge with me. And if you don't know what to comment, just post your favorite emoji. That also really helps. And if you like videos like this, I have a ton of more exciting videos coming up in the near future, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye everyone!